No, you have to wait.
This is the detention docket for the 323rd District Court for Monday, March 1st, 2021. In compliance with the Texas Supreme Court Emergency Order number 33 related to the coronavirus, we are not conducting in-person proceedings. However, we are on Zoom, and to comply with Article 1, Section 13 of the Texas Constitution, also known as the Open Courts Act, we are broadcasting these proceedings on YouTube so the public has meaningful access to what occurs inside a public courtroom. No portion of this broadcast may be copied, recorded, or published. Violations of this order are punishable by contempt of court of up to 6 months in the Tarrant County Jail and a $500 fine. I'd like to remind everyone this is still a court proceeding, so people are expected to behave appropriately for court. That means please do not have moving backgrounds. Please not be in a moving vehicle. Do not have ceiling fans in the background. Do not have bright lights from behind your head, as that tends to shadow out your face. Please do not be laying down anywhere. Please be dressed appropriately. Do not use illegal substances or drink alcohol while you are on Zoom. Please refrain from moving animals. Do not use a lavatory. I think the rest of it just kind of makes common sense. So, just going through right now. Ms. Martinez, please turn off that ceiling fan. That's exactly what I was talking about. Okay, so we're going to start with Jacory Bibbs. All right, Mr. Bibbs, I'm Judge Ken. This is a detention hearing, deciding whether to keep you in custody or to release you. If I keep you, you have to see a judge every 10 days. If you appoint an attorney for your case in the interim, his name is Brian Newman. Mr. Newman, I think I just saw you come in.
Yes, Judge, I'm present.
Good morning. All right, so you do have a right to remain silent, Jacory. All right, so Mr. Bibbs, let's see, you're 16 years old. You came in here in 2019 for evading arrest, and then September of last year for burglary of a building with the intent to commit theft, which has not been filed yet. So on February 28th, Grand Prairie brought you in. According to the police, about 4:20, police were notified of a stolen car out of Arlington. And police located the car at a stop, but the driver began to evade, sped up, went through a pursuit through the city that ended in the driver spinning out and wrecking. Driver and passenger fled. The first officer did not lose sight of the driver, later caught up to him, who was identified as you. Later, you admitted being the driver. Companion was seen throwing an object as he ran, which was then a key fob to the stolen vehicle. And you were also found with some marijuana while being searched. So you're charged with evading arrest. A female companion was not charged since you stayed in the car and did the right thing. We gave you a drug test and you're positive for weed. So, Jacory, you had a pending case for theft. We let you out, and then now you're in a stolen car. You go in a car chase. You crash the car, and you've got weed on you, and you're smoking weed while you have a pending case. It sounds like if I let you back into the community, that you would be a danger to yourself and to others. So I'm going to detain you. Did we have a parent here for Mr. Bibbs?
Your Honor, we do not have a parent here.
Okay.
But just to clarify, that pending offense has not been officially filed by Grand Prairie PD yet.
Right.
So we would contact them and ask them what they want to do.
Okay, that'll be helpful. Thank you, Jacory. Alejandro Guajardo. Alejandro, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. You've been here for 10 days. I'm deciding whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. We have appointed Mr. Sierra as your appointed attorney. Good morning, Mr. Sierra.
Morning, Judge.
Good morning. There you are. Okay, so Alejandro, you've been here for 18 days now. You're level 1 outstanding. You were previously here for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, which you got DPP for, and then 4 days after that, you got arrested for assault, family violence. Well, so police were dispatched to your home on February 10th for domestic. Mom said she was threatened and assaulted by you. You got upset when she told you you can't go outside because of the weather. And She said you pushed her in the chest, kicked her in the leg, she locked herself in the bedroom, and that evidently you took a knife to pick the lock, and you made fake lunging motions at her, raised the knife over your head. So you admitted trying to scare your mom with a knife. So I ordered you to see the psychiatrist, and we have not been able to get you to see the doctor. All right, Mr. Kroll, why hasn't he seen the psychiatrist?
I do not have an update on that other than they were busy last week and unable to get him in.
All right, so Mr. Kroll, my question is going to be, are they telling you that they were too busy to follow the court order?
No, what I was informed was that with the week prior and then catching up with the, I guess, kind of triage who needed to be seen first, since he was level 1, they were getting the ones in that had to be seen.
Okay, so I'm going to amend the order that y'all have to get a doctor here to see him, or you have to take him to a doctor within 48 hours for a psychiatric evaluation.
All right, thank you.
Do we have a parent here?
Yes, mother is here.
Which one's the mother?
She's listed as Iris Martinez.
Hello, Iris. Okay, Iris, so I think your son needs to see the doctor. We can go ahead. I'm not happy that they didn't follow the order to see the doctor last week. So go ahead and order it. He has to see a doctor within 90 days, okay?
Okay,
Thank you, Ms. Martinez.
thank you.
All right, next we have Rashonda Henderson. I'm still trying to figure out, how do you say we're too busy to follow court order? All right, Rashonda, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. You have to see a judge within 2 days of coming here, and I have to decide whether to keep you in custody or release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. We have appointed Ms. Jacobson as your attorney. Good morning, Ms. Jacobson.
Morning.
Well, Rashonda, let's see. You were brought in yesterday by Fort Worth PD. They're saying, well, first let's look at this. You're 16 years old. Oh, Rashonda. So it started when you're 13 with a fail to ID, which the DA dismissed. 2 weeks later, you're brought in for theft, which the DA dismissed. 4 days later, you're brought in for unauthorized use of a motor vehicle, which the DA dismissed. 3 days later, you're brought in for stealing a vehicle, which the DA dismissed. And unauthorized use of a motor vehicle, which you got probation for. But while you're let out for unauthorized use of a motor vehicle, a week later, you ran away. Then when you stole another vehicle and evaded arrest again, you were let out. We issued a warrant for you because 11 days later, you get arrested for stealing another car and evading arrest with the vehicle, which you're also placed on probation for. And so Fort Worth brought you in yesterday because there was a stolen black car. Police found the car and they turned on their lights, and black female identified as Rashonda Henderson exited the driver's side and ran. And they lost sight, but then found you at the intersection of Riverside and Roberts. And vehicle owner came by, took the vehicle. All right, well, if she's on probation and you're testing positive for marijuana while you're in probation. All right, Ms. Jacobson, I think we've run about options for this child in the community. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna set this for a motion to modify fairly quickly. Probably within 2 weeks. But I think Rashonda's had plenty of chances, and I think she's just burned every single chance that she's been given by both the court and her parent. So at this point, I don't know what we can do for her. All right, Ms. Jacobson?
There is one thing I would like you to know. I am in contact with another one of my, I'm getting lots of text messages. I don't know if you can hear that. I'm sorry. From another one of my clients, her mother's contacting me. It appears that my other client was in the car with Roshonda, and so I am concerned that there might be a conflict of interest. I just don't know yet because it's still too early on. I need to speak with the other probation officer.
How much time do you need?
If you wanted to set it in 2 weeks, I'll know for sure by then whether I need more time. It's just if we have to. If I need to withdraw from one of the cases.
Well, I'm saying if we set in 2 weeks and you have to withdraw, then I want to make sure the next attorney coming in has enough time. So is this something you can figure out in the next 2 days? Like by Wednesday, end of business Wednesday? Is that fair enough?
Yes, I think I should be able to figure it out by then.
Okay, and that way if there is a conflict, we can reappoint counsel. You don't even have to submit a motion of withdrawal.
Okay, understood.
All right, thank you, Ms. Jacobson.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So Ethan Hernandez. Sorry. Ethan Hernandez.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Ethan, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. You've been here for 10 days, deciding whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you here, you will see the judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. And your attorney, Mr. Masick, is here.
Yes, Your Honor.
So Ethan, a criminal trespass case last year and a burglary of a vehicle. And then now, level outstanding as for a month now. So back in November, you referred for burglary of a building at Owens Auto. And security called the police, said they saw you and some other juveniles inside the fence area. So police gave commands and you were arrested and brought here. Release your grandmother. Then January of this year, Arlington PD brought you in. Gang unit was patrolling because they knew there were shootings in the area. They saw you in the roadway walking towards traffic. So they were stopped and you were found with a 9mm handgun and a pistol and a cartridge in the handgun. Then now February 23rd, and you were brought in February 23rd. Arlington PD referred a case for shooting in progress. Witness said, report suspect 1 fired 3 rounds. Walking back, suspect 1 pointed the gun at him, fired 3 rounds at him. Then he ran, suspects ran off, identified you. Wait, there's a photo lineup with your picture, but he did not pick you. But there was a match between the firearm that you had with shell casings on the scene. So there's also an alarm call. Shots being fired next to or in front of the residence during the time. Residence, multiple individuals. The victim said 2 males approached her home, fired multiple bullets while it's occupied, and thought it was a, I guess, gang-related rivalry. So the videos of the incident. So there's a video from 5 days earlier where you're wearing the same clothing that you were in the video of the shooting. So Ethan, I think if I was to release you, you'd just be a danger to the community. So these gun offenses, I'm real slow, especially there's multiple offenses where you have a gun, shooting the gun. You're level 1 outstanding. This is, if you're level 2, I don't even start to consider it. Level 1, you have to show me over a period of time. It's been a month, but there's no guarantee I'm going to let you out. It's just you have to convince me. All right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Ethan.
Yes, sir.
Judge. Lo van a detener
Rick
porque
Giles.
comunicaron que tiene.
Morning, Judge.
Morning.
I'm covering this hearing for Dana, Your Honor.
I beg your pardon?
I'm covering this hearing for
Oh,
Dana.
okay, thank you. Mr. Giles, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. It's been 10 days, so I'm reviewing a case, deciding whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. So, this is the car sped by on 121, got in a crash. Good Samaritan stopped, helped him, pulled him out, put him in his truck. Kendrick took the Good Samaritan's car, then went and crashed in South Lake. Police had to dispatch, I think, air and K9, and they found him in an RV. So, Mom, you're here again. I know you're always here, Mom, just about. I know you've had ongoing problems with them, right, over the years. This is not a one-off incident.
We've had several, I've made several calls.
I just remember it was one of the first detention hearings. There was frustration in your voice because this is just a pattern of behavior from Kendrick.
My frustration was actually from my lack of being able to get his medicine at that time.
Okay. Ms. Paxton, was he on probation when all this happened?
Your Honor, I believe. No, Your Honor, he was not on probation.
Okay, because he had probation for theft of a firearm, burglary of a habitation,
Yes,
another theft of
yeah.
a firearm. He actually was placed. Yeah. All right. Mr. Giles, I need to let you know, I'm looking over this, and the fact that you actually went to placement, that's like the last ditch effort we have before commitment on a child on the traditional path. Usually give a kid a chance at supervisory caution and then probation. If that doesn't work, a placement. If that doesn't work, it usually goes to a commitment to TJJD. All right. So if you went through placement and you're still, looks like you're engaging in this behavior, I'm not sure I can trust you in the community until there's more intensive rehabilitative efforts. All right. So I'm going to continue to detain you.
Judge, can I point out, and maybe it can be corrected by the probation department, on this detention hearing report, it does say that there's a weapon involved. The weapon was used in this. That's not the case in this.
I don't think so. I think from one of the hearings, I was told that evidently he was driving and one of the police officers felt like he was in danger, so the police officer discharged a weapon. So I don't think.
But it just says on the report, the weapon used, yes, a handgun, a pistol.
Oh, okay.
So,
Right. No, I'm not thinking that. My biggest concern is he's actually gone to placement, and evidently that didn't do anything. And the amount of danger this placed in the community. And I worry, I think there's deeper rooted issues for Mr. Giles that places the community in danger as well as himself. All right. Mr. Giles, I see that your hand is raised. If you have a question for me, I don't mind answering it. But if you want to explain something or tell me something, please do not. There's nothing that you can tell me at a detention hearing that changes things.
It's the same question as last time. I was just wondering, like, I understand I have a bad reputation or whatever, and I was just wondering, like, can I prove myself with a home pass sometime?
No, absolutely not. All right. Thank you, Mr. Giles. Jatavius Jones.
Morning, Judge.
Good morning. All right, Mr. Jones, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. You've been here for 10 days, deciding whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. And your attorney is Ms. Lothorpe. So, good morning, Ms. Lothorpe.
Good morning.
Okay. All right, Jatavius, you're 14 years old. And see, back in November, you're brought in for robbery and an out-of-state warrant. And is this one from Louisiana?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So that's right. It's like sister's boyfriend. And yeah, it's like you told the police that the victim owed your sister's boyfriend some money and you were getting it for him. And so, and you had a warrant out of Bossier City for purse snatching and resisting. And Bossier City wants to wait until we resolve our cases before they take possession of you. Positive marijuana, I believe this is where mom is saying that it's like some guy in the apartment complex that is just like gives money to kids, which really worried me as well. So.
Your Honor, if I may add to the story, I believe he snatched it kidding him and gave it back, but
Yes.
it got blown out of proportion a little bit. And the defense would like the judge to consider house arrest, maybe an ankle monitor. And I think he complies with the rules at home with his mama. And he is, I believe, on one outstanding.
So, Mr. Nava, why do you drop down in behavior level?
Your Honor, I'm filling for Mr. Nava.
Okay.
3 days ago, he got an A, or I guess it was the 22nd, he got an A for trading snacks. That's the only infraction.
So, Mr. Crowe, I'm seeing that we issued a DTA for him. What was the DTA over? Oh, the robbery case was back in November. He was out. Okay, so why did we issue the DTA?
I'll have to look into that real quick.
I mean, I'm seeing here, mom, I guess, called us and said that his behavior, he was being disrespectful to her, and he's doing poorly in school.
Your Honor, that's why we did a progress report in the courts, went ahead and issued a DTA.
Okay. All right, so mom, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
If I was to let him go home to you, will there be any hesitation on your part if he has an attitude with you again to call us and let us know?
You know I will, Mr. King.
Okay. All right. Javius, you understand that if you can be level 1-0 here, that means I know you can be level 1 outstanding at home with your mom. Okay. So if you get an attitude with your mom, she needs to let us know, and then we'll just bring you back here. All right. So you got to earn your stay at home. You got to do the right thing there, and then you get to stay at home. But if you cause problems there, then we just bring you back here. We've got a spot for you.
Your Honor, if I may interrupt, if mom would please get a number for me and call our office and get us her contact information.
Yes.
Thank you. Sorry, Judge.
Okay. All right, Jatavius, I'm gonna place you on electronic monitor, and I'm gonna put you on the sweat patch for a couple weeks, and then we'll see how that goes. But if you're smoking weed or using other drugs, I'm just gonna bring you back here. All right.
Sure.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Ms. Lothorpe. Next, we have Martin Romero. Okay, whoever's on iPhone, your camera needs to be on. Am I out of order? Oh, I went out of order. I'm sorry. Are you Mr. Ransom or are you Mr. Romero?
Ransom.
Ransom, all right.
Did you need somebody different, Judge?
No, we're good with Ransom. I called it out of order. I apologize. All right, Mr. Ransom, I'm Judge Kim. This is a 10-day hearing. You've been here for 10 days, deciding whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Your attorney, Mr. Houston, is Mr. Houston here? I think he has something with Judge Porter. No? All right, Mr. Adler, I can ask you to step in for Mr. Houston.
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning.
Good morning. All right, so you're on probation out of Dallas County for assault of a public servant, and they have an active DTA for you. Now you are here. Police were dispatched to Metro PCS. Clerk said 2 black males came in, stole a purse and cash out of register, forced everyone to the back to the safe, took iPhones, and there was a tracker. All the merchandise was located. And you were found with a stolen Smith & Wesson .40 caliber weapon. You give a fake name and date of birth. You were listed as a runaway out of Dallas, also on probation out of Dallas. And the other suspect, an adult, had a loaded 9mm handgun. Your history in Dallas is 2 assaults, family violence, runaway, and they have a warrant for you. All right, Mr. Ransom, since you're looking at a felony level offense out of Dallas, I feel like if I was to release you, that we may not get you back until they took care of their case. So I want to go ahead and detain you here. Do we have a parent here?
Your Honor, we have a CPS worker and also the Dallas County PO is present.
Okay. All right, Dallas County, thank you, sir, for attending. Got a question. Are y'all just waiting to see what we do, or are y'all in a rush?
Your Honor, we're waiting to see what Tarrant County is gonna do. I spoke with Dana last week, and I was told that he was going to grand jury for determined sentence. So we're just waiting to see how you guys proceed, so we can take over if needed.
Okay. All right. Is he on a determinate or indeterminate out of Dallas?
Indeterminate in Dallas.
Okay. All right. I think it's probably better if we just hold on to him, just because it's more serious if they're seeking grand jury approval. So, but thank you. Thank you for being here, and thank you for being part of it. Thank you. I understand the department's here also for Mr. Ransom.
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm just very concerned if I was to release this child to the community for his own safety. And his runaway history makes me think he may not appear for court as well. So I'm going to go ahead and detain him in our custody.
We agree. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right. Next, we have Martin Romero. All right, Mr. Romero, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. When a child is brought to our facility, you have to see a judge within 2 days. Have to decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. We've appointed Mr. Masek as your attorney. All right, so Saturday, Arlington PD brought you in for a weed case. Officers were dispatched to a parking garage at Park Small. They noticed a black passenger of a black Tahoe brandishing a firearm. This was caught on camera. Officers approached the vehicle with weapons drawn. You were in the front passenger seat. They removed everyone, smelled weed coming from the car. So they searched the car. All occupants denied ownership of the marijuana. The driver would only admit the Alpine on smoking. So you were transported over here. You were detained because a gun was found on your companion. Doesn't list the name of your companions. All right, so mom and dad, you're here?
Yes,
Okay, y'all speak English, right?
I do.
Okay,
Mother,
so my question is, where's he getting the weed from?
that would be a question for him because I
Oh,
don't.
no. All right, mom, you're still mom, right? You're still
Yes, sir.
responsible for him. He's still 16.
sir.
So I think that's a valid question for the parents. If you don't know that you can't pass the blame onto your son, I mean, y'all are responsible for him.
Yes,
You have to have some kind of idea. Who's he hanging out with?
those two little boys that were with him.
Okay, why are you letting him hang out with his two little boys?
Because as far as I knew, they weren't doing anything they weren't supposed to do. When they're
Okay.
in my house, they don't do anything they're not supposed to do.
Okay, so now we have this information, now that there was a gun also there, that they were flashing the gun around and pointing at people. All right, what's gonna be different if I was to release Martin to you?
Well, he won't be able to talk to those little boys anymore.
Okay.
And I guess I'll be stuck to the hip at him for 24 hours a day because that's the only way we can do it.
Oh, I think there's other ways. All right. So there's expectations. This is we're at a good chance in Martin's life now that we can try and make good changes for him before he becomes an adult. All right. So, mom, how's he doing in school?
He doesn't want to go to school. He doesn't clock into his classes. He tells his dad that he doesn't understand what's going on. But I know that's not what it is. He just doesn't want to go.
Okay. So it's a big attitude problem then.
Well, not an attitude wise, because he doesn't get attitude with me. He's never been one to speak back. He just says, I can't do it, mom. I'm asleep or I work. Because he does work. He works at Jack in the Box. The people there talk very highly of him. He just doesn't want to study.
You know, well, I don't think he wants to work in Jack in the Box for the rest of his life. So, all right. Well, Martin, this is what I'm going to do. When I say you have an attitude problem, it's not that you're disrespectful to your mom. It's that you're not being a good kid and doing what your parents tell you to do. And that's what you need to do. So at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to detain you. All right. I want you to get a level 1 outstanding. You hold it for 3 days. At that point, then I let you go home on electronic monitor to your parents. And we'll be doing drug testing. So the reason why I'm doing this is because to get to level 1 outstanding and to hold it for 3 days, you have to go to school here. You have to participate. You have to follow the rules. You have to do what you're told. You also have to not associate. There's called a DNA. They tell you do not associate with certain people. You cannot associate with them. If you break any of these rules, you lose points. You never get to level 1 outstanding, and you don't get out of here. The reason why I'm doing this is because when I let you go, you're going back to your parents' house. You're going to go to school the way they tell you to do. You're going to do the chores they tell you to do. You're going to do what you're going to follow the house rules. And then if they tell you do not hang out with those little boys again, you're not going to associate with those little boys again, right? Here in detention will show to me that if I let you go to your parents' house, you can follow the rules. If you cannot follow the rules, then that tells me I need to place you in some facility, okay? So I'm trying to make it real simple. I don't want you here. It's a marijuana case. This is not the end of the world, but I see something bigger here, that I see 2 good parents here that are trying to help you, and that you're just refusing to take their help. And I'm not gonna let that happen. All right, Mom, do you have any questions for me?
No, just, will we be able to see him, or, because I don't see him on the monitor either.
Oh, all right. So Martine, can you say something?
No.
Okay. You see him now?
No.
You don't see the screen that says HPOD.
Okay, now he's on here.
Okay. All right. So there he is. So Mom, I'm just expecting, I want him to go to your home and follow your rules and respect you and your house rules. Okay. He has to prove that to me here. Once he does, I'll let him go.
Okay.
All right. All right. Thank you, Mom. Kaylin Rushton.
I don't know, was it the same one that brought us?
Your Honor,
I thought Sunday. Yes, Mr.
Your
Shipley.
Honor. I did want to let you know that we have one of the victims present on the Zoom this morning. It's Mr. Brinder.
Okay. Thank you. All right, Kaylin, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. When a child's brought to a facility, you have to see a judge within 2 days. You have to decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. We have appointed Mr. Pearson as your attorney. Good morning, David.
Good morning, Your Honor.
All right, so Kaylin, see, you're 15 years old. You were a pending case back from 2019. You're brought in for assault of a public servant. You were fighting another student in the lunchroom. AP started to break up the fight, and you pushed the assistant principal to the floor and caused him pain in the neck and back. And so this case is pending. Then now on Saturday, Fort Worth PD brought you in. According to the report, at 6:20, police were dispatched to a victim's home. Said a young black male wearing black hoodie and sweatpants knocked on the door. Said that he was being robbed when he answering the door. Suspect told the victim to go back into the home and get him some money. Victim closed the door, locked the door, contacted the police, and the suspect fled on foot. Victim said the suspect kept his hands in his hoodie the entire time, so didn't know if he had a weapon. Victim's over 65, so now it's aggravated because he's elderly. Second robbery call from the nearby spoke to the victim, employee of Cricket Wireless, said a young black male wearing a black hoodie, sweatpants, red shoes, walked in business, pointed a stick at her, and informed her that she was being robbed. She tried to call 911. He grabbed the phone, disconnected the call, fled the scene on foot. When officers spoke with her, he then returned to the store. Victim 2 identified him, and he was detained. As they were escorting Kaylin to the patrol car, third victim approached. The nail salon owner said that Kaylin entered the business, tried to rob her while pointing a stick at her. Do we have a parent here?
Your Honor, I'm filling in for Mr. Nava, and I believe there is not a parent present.
Kaylin, I'm detaining you. I also want a psychological on this child. Kaylin, have you ever seen a mental health doctor before?
Mental health, nah, but I've been to 2 mental hospitals though.
Oh, you have? Okay. Make sure we're gonna have a doctor talk to you. Make sure you tell the doctor, all right, about it. Are you on 504 services?
What you mean?
At school, 504 services. Have you heard that before? No?
No.
Oh, okay, that's all right. Okay. Yeah. Which hospitals were you at?
First one was Mesa Springs.
Okay.
The second one was Arlington Perimeter.
Okay. All right. Do you have medication you're prescribed?
medication I'm prescribed.
Yeah,
I got psych meds.
psych meds? Okay. Have you been taking those?
No.
No, all right. Tell you what, you need to take medication, all right? Even if it doesn't make you feel good or you don't like it, you got to go back to the doctor and get your prescription adjusted. When's the last time you saw a doctor for your psych meds?
I'm not gonna lie to you, it's been a while.
Okay, like more than a month?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Okay. I'm also going to order what's called a psychiatric evaluation. So do you remember what prescriptions you were taking?
Trazodone. I took anxiety one for bipolar.
Okay. Yeah, just make sure
antidepressant.
Hey, make sure you tell the doctor those. It's a good starting point. Were those medications working?
Not really.
All right. Yeah, I mean, you haven't seen a doctor in a while. Here's the problem, Kaylin, is that as a child, your brain is changing. And so what happens is that while your medication may work, as your brain changes, the medication stops working because your brain has changed, not because the medication's changed, all right? So what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and get a psychiatrist, a psych doctor also to see you and get you back on medication, all right? In the meanwhile, we're going to try and find your parents and then get them involved and figure out a little bit more history, okay? So right now, I just want you to see some doctors first. Is that fair enough?
Fair enough.
All right, thank you, Kaylin.
Your Honor, if I may clarify,
Yes,
you want a psychological and psychiatric ordered?
both. Yes, please.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Dylan Sinkard.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
How you doing today, sir?
Please be advised,
I'm
there
Judge
is
Tim. This is a detention hearing. When you come in, you see a judge within 2 days. I have to decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Your attorney is Mr. Lofton. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
So, see, on Friday, you were referred in, well, let's go back. I recognize your name. So you were on probation for theft of a firearm. When we brought you in on Friday, you're testing positive for weed. So you're smoking weed while in probation. And then evidently, Watauga was doing patrol and they saw a stolen vehicle in the skate park. And so there were a number of people in there, some black males standing outside. They drove past and the officer did a license plate check, came back as stolen, and the driver was identified as you. So you backed out of the spot, began to drive through the parking lot. They started to follow you, but did not turn on the lights because he was waiting for backup. And then as they were driving, the vehicle pulled over. There was a traffic stop. Officer began to get out of the vehicle. And then you evidently started driving back on the roadway. So then lights and sirens, you did not stop, speed increased. And chase went several minutes. Backup officers came. And you went through business parking lots, went out to Denton Highway. You missed the turn and you crashed into a pole at a church. So you attempted to exit the vehicle to flee, but surrendered. There were two 17-year-old females who were detained and released to their parents. And you had a warrant out of Fort Worth PD for burglary of a vehicle. So while you're on probation for theft of a firearm, you have warrants out of Fort Worth for burglary of a vehicle, and now you're in a stolen vehicle, and you go in a car chase with two children in the car. You crash out. Yeah. Well done. Clearly there's not much I can do for you. So, and releasing you into the community would clearly be a danger to yourself as well as the community. So I'm going to detain you. Thank you, Dylan.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Jaqueline Spencer. I'm sorry. All right, Mr. Spencer, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. You've been here for 10 days, deciding whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. And your attorney is Ms. Herrick. I don't think I've seen Lisa. Mr. Adler, I'm going to ask you to step in.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Quaylen. You had a pending case for, see, back in December of last year, there's an out of custody case for an assault. When the police got here, saw you walking behind the victim, you dropped your jacket, hit the victim several times. He did not defend himself, and it was unprovoked. Now, oh, this is the shot the person in the leg with an AK style rifle. And you threatened to shoot your mom if she told the police. Yeah, Jaqueline, if I were, there's, Stephan, we have a note here, do not release this child, right? Yes. Okay. Yeah, Jaqueline, I just think if I was to release you, you'd retaliate, you're a danger to other people. I don't think you'd appear for court. I think there's every single problem here. Decisions have consequences, Jaqueline. You've made some poor decisions, and now this is the consequence. So I'm detaining you. All right, so at this point, in Texas family, yes, Mr. Spencer, do you have a question for me?
Yes, sir. That was false, the last thing you said, but what I finna say, I've been a level 1, well, a level 1, but I dropped my level to like a 1A because it's just minor stuff, but I've been trying to keep my level 1 while I've been there though.
Yeah, you need to do that to help your attorney. But if it's up to me to release you, the fact that there's probable cause that you actually shot somebody and that you threatened to shoot somebody for calling the police, I'm not comfortable releasing you. Right? This is what happens. But you need to keep your behavior level up, because that is, your attorney needs something to work with to figure out how your case is going to end up. All right? Thank you. All right, so up until this point, we've broadcast these proceedings on YouTube because of the Open Courts Act. However, Texas Family Code Chapter 54.08C states that when a child is under 14 years old, the courtrooms are presumed to be closed to the public unless the court finds that it is the best interest of the child or interest of the public to open the proceedings to the public. Unable to make that finding, I'm now going to discontinue the YouTube broadcast, and please allow 20 seconds for the tape delay. It's more than 20 seconds.